It's Tuesday, 15th July 2025, and we are mere weeks away from the National Campaign Trail. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For those joining us for the first time, this is Women Speaking. It's a platform where women come to share perspectives on issues of national importance. My name is Caroline Ayot. I am your host. Today, we'll be talking about the status of multi-party democracy ahead of the 2026 elections in Uganda. We hope to touch on the topics including the health of internal political party democracy, party coalitions that are happening right now ahead of elections, political party financing, but also how to achieve a leveled playing field in this political year. With me in studio is a panel of distinguished guests, and I'll start introducing them from my immediate next going out. We have on the panel Honorable Miriam Matembe. She's a senior citizen and a child of God. Honorable, welcome back to the show. We are happy to have you.
You could even tell them that by the own Saturday I made 50 years in marriage.
Yes, and Honorable also made 50 years in marriage on Saturday. And we are very golden jubilee. Congratulations, Honorable.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Also on the panel for the first time, we have Nana Namata Mwafrika. Nana is a human rights defender and an aspirant for the Kampala Woman MP seat. Nana, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We are happy to have you, and we hope to get your insights. Thank you so much. And we have a familiar face to the show, our own Trasyleen Ankunda. Ankunda is a feminist and a lawyer, but she's also at the Law Development Center right now. She's about to get the certification to actually practice. Trasyleen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back on the show.
Thank you very much. So to ease us into this conversation, I'm going to pick your brain first, Nana. I would like you to tell us what is standing out for you in the political landscape right now as a person who is going to actually participate actively as an aspirant for a parliamentary seat.
Thank you, host. It's true that I have defended human rights for a while in this country, and it's also true that I'm aspiring for the Kampala Woman MP seat. And this is bringing me closer to party politics. I have since made known that I am now currently standing with the newly formed party, PEFF. And for me, what's standing out for me in this period is the continued behavior of the politicians, one would call the business as usual politicians, the incumbents in this.
The career politicians?
The career ones. When I come on this scene, I'm not coming to go study politics or even become one. I defend human rights. I use my voice to create awareness, to point at what could be done better, to comment on what we've done good and what we haven't done well. In politics today, we have about 7 known active political parties, but there are many more in the background. The most active being NRM, the NUP, PFF. This is more or less FDC.
Yes.
For those that do not know what PFF is, this is what some people have referred to as the FDC Katonga faction. FDC has, over the years, split into other groups, and by the man that people really respect and love a lot, the General Mujisha, ANT.
Yes.
Yes, it's better to not call it ANT. And now most recently PFF. I have been at Pressers for this, what I call my new home. I am not going there to become a politician. I'm not going there to drum favorites for politicians and politics. I am going there to bring what comes from my side, rights activism. Over the years, people are getting to even lose hope in party politics. This we must tell Ugandans. I speak to Ugandans on all levels, the high-end, top-level Ugandans, the Muntu-Wawansi, as people say it. The hope in political parties, especially if they do not, if the opposition do not come together, is small in the minds of Ugandans. That's how I read it. This is where I would think that this time round, for us as human rights activists, our song has been, let more young people come on the scene to get involved in governance issues. The song is, let everybody get involved.
Yes.
You do not have to be a career politician to know how you want your road to look, to know how you want education to go. And my call as Nana, Aspirant for Women MP, this 2026, 30, up to 31, is that we need as many people. Why do I say that? We need to disrupt the order that is, you know, the biggest political party, the ones with the most money take these spaces, the ones that say the most words must be given these places, these spaces. We need as many new minds from all backgrounds on the scene this time. For me, that's my preaching.
Okay, I would just like to ask, what activities actually stood out for you in the current political scene as something either disturbing or something as a move to the right direction for multi-party democracy?
If you look at the incumbent NRM,
yes,
it's almost like they've been campaigning. It looks like Museveni has been campaigning all year through. It looks like he's coming to Kampala to just wind up his campaigns now. But when you look at people like the NUP, their leadership, their supporters, parts of them are in prison since the last election. More of them will enter prison if things do not change. What's standing out for me, for example, in the party that I'm calling my home now, which party I'm still studying I've studied their constitution. The way the things are said in that constitution, to me, call me controversial or what, I'm already citing conflict with what's being done.
okay.
You have a constitution laid, and then when we went for the convention to lay out the new Mugole, the leadership is appointed by, you know, tup. A lot of people who call themselves members are already complaining. The ANT party came into a coalition with the new party, PFF.
Yes.
And these are people that personally, or as one that's coming into main center leadership, I have no problem with. These are people that have said we could do better. These are all people that oppose the incumbent NRM. The coalition of ANT and PFF will make very much meaning if, as we prepare for elections, the country, the people that would want to follow and support and back us are shown that we are moving by the Constitution. We will make much more sense as the opposition if even the remaining political party, what most people now see as the most popular one, if the NUP, I mean, the people ask us. We are the ones that are scattered out in the people. We are not important politicians that we need bodyguards. So we go everywhere. And people are like, oh, we've heard. Now those two are together. Where is the NUP? Ugandans prefer that if we have decided, many have argued, and I also argued the same previously, that elections alone cannot change the scene, the situation of our country. But if we, for some reason, must keep getting into the election, whose result a lot of us almost always guess, at least with the part of the president, we must come together. Otherwise, it continues to look to the rest of the Ugandans like we're just trying to maintain something that's beneficial to maybe individuals and the smaller parts of the group, and to the rest of the Ugandans, it's always going to be a complaint. more of what is standing out is we are going to see the most unique election. Me, that's what I predict.
Okay.
With more youth coming on the scene, the platform that I aspire for, we are already about 11 women.
Wow.
11 before primaries or parties and whatnot. So for me, I look at this is likely to be the most unique and the most, intensely followed election. We are crossing fingers. Me, who can't boast of being a politician, but I'm a Ugandan that reads the constitution and understands it, can interpret it. I know what it takes for Ugandans to, step from the current state of affairs to a better nation. I look at unity as the only tool left for us. And our fingers are crossed for it to come from the ANT and PFF to ANT, PFF, NUP, DP, and all the new formations.
Thank you so much. Trasyleen, let me bring you to the conversation. You are a young person, and I know you're just not watching from afar, because I have seen the posters that you put out for the different young people who are contesting in different positions. And I know, perhaps, had it not been for LDC, you might have also been very active in these elections. So give me your perspective on what's going on, what is standing out for you in terms of internal party politics. I know you do not have comrades in NRM alone, but you also see people in DP and other political parties like FDC.
To begin with, I'm actually contesting.
Really?
Yes. In the National Youth Council, and so far we are at the district level.
Yes.
So we are going to have elections on 8th August, and I'll be running for female affairs at the district.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So people of Bushenyi should support me. So to get back to your question.
Yes.
I think we are at a point where young people are, I'll give two perspectives. One is the idea of young people within young people themselves.
Yes.
The special interest groups where they are categorized. But also the perspective of young people within the vast majority, especially with these direct seats to parliament. Now, from my view or from my understanding is that especially the young people in the special interest groups, there's still quite a lot that they are facing. You realize that, for example, the National Youth Council structures, you realize that it is purely having almost young people of a certain political party, while the room does not have as many more young people with different ideas and views come on board. And which means that the diverging views are going to be very little. If you all say we want A would seem it is A without anyone saying no, how about we do it like this?
They'll say the youth have spoken without getting alternative views.
Exactly. So they'll take the vast majority of what they are saying. But also in the context that young people, especially with the financial challenges that they face, you go back to the aspect of politics of patronage. If I do show up today to run for an election, perhaps my idea is, who do I run to? Who can finance my campaign? Who is of which stakeholder do I reach out to? And the challenge is that usually when we do that, we end up in a box of the person that supports you, who most likely becomes your master, and you're the servant. So when you come through, the election is done, even when it comes to, what do you intend to do? You cannot independently think because of that patronage that you've had with maybe any kind of support that you got from that person. But also again to the aspect of young people that are running through direct seats. Now, one is that the young people are being told, you are young, you still have time, please leave these seats for us. But also those who have managed to actually successfully show up, you come to speak, someone maybe expects you to wear in a certain way, maybe someone expects you to talk in a certain way, or maybe someone expects you to, like the information gap between the adult suffrage that you're talking to and the .com young person today tends to be at two distinct lines. But also from the perspective that when you talk about, my sister here said that we need to be one. Now, if we are talking about being one, and we have a political party that so far has birthed other two political parties, to me it suggests that we are not accommodative, even within the different political parties that we are. And I used her example, but I can also use NRM. You find that even within NRM, there is, this one is more NRM than the other person. Or there is, this one is known by a certain figurehead, so they are more likely NRM than you are. But also, you find that if you are, sometimes you end up in a space of, you actually know where. You just identify with a certain figurehead in that political party, but when it comes back to the reality is, you're just in media saying, I am NRM, but if they called you and asked you, what are your principles? What are your values? You don't know. Perhaps because your great-grandfather was NRM or your great-grandmother was NRM and they told you about the Bush War and the peace that came along with it. So the young people today still lack the mentality of, this is what I stand for, this is how far I can push it, and this is how I think it will represent all of us. But again, also, the aspect of the young girl, and I did mention this last time, that you are a young girl straight from campus, you're looking at maybe growing your political career, but also serving community. You show up, one is, you have a bum, it is a problem. You don't have it, it is a problem. You're light-skinned, it is a problem. You're dark-skinned, it is a problem. You know? So that society will even judge your appearance before you say anything. And usually they will forget or will not even focus at the message that you intend to put across. Because if I showed up and I'm Nancy and I say I'm Nancy Ayot and you're like, why has she put this earring? Why is she even looking like this? You get? You put your lipstick, why is she even doing that? So it is in a way that even young people are facing challenges in regards to, what do I identify as, or who do I identify as? How do I package my information to community? Making sure that they are alive and can pick it up. But also to appreciate the role of young people, especially in media and elections. We've had many young people post on Instagram, on Twitter, advocacy like we are doing here, shape discussions like Nancy is doing here. And to me, I think that is where we fit in the conversation to be able to address the challenges that we are actually facing, to call out anyone out there who is willing to come through to empower us more women, to empower us more girls, to empower us, you know. Again, she mentioned that there are now 11 women running for a woman MP of Kampala. But if you go to constituencies, you'll be shocked. We don't have women there. We are all still in identify as a woman. So I am very safe and comfortable
in the woman's
contesting in a woman's seat.
Yes, thank you so much. Honorable Miria, now after hearing that context, after hearing what's going on, but also to add on to what they just said, some of the highlights of this election season has been the differences in different political parties when they're holding their delegates conferences. They've come out with a lot of conflicts, and people keep saying that leaders were not chosen fairly through free and fair elections. Moreover, they say that some people have been excluded from political parties that they identify with. Considering your history and your involvement in trying to shape coalitions of the opposition in this country back in the day, what do you think about the current coalitions that are being formed? But also, do you think that they're being formed based on ideas? And do you think that the differences that are already in political parties will trickle down into these different coalitions that are attempting to form?
But for me, I mean, we come here to discuss for the sake of discussing, that's all. But whatever we discuss doesn't make any sense to me. You see, for me, as I was telling you, when you said senior citizen, and I reminded you that I'm so senior that I'm even 50 years in marriage. I wanted to tell you.
We congratulate
I wanted
Honorable.
to show you that I shouldn't even be coming to debate these things. I should be resting somewhere because I have done my part. Because I have done my part. But actually the reason why you call me here is because you look around to get somebody who will tell Uganda the truth,
Yes.
and you fail to find one. So against that background, me I want to say clearly that the issue in this country, you cannot talk of multi-party democracy. You shouldn't even be wasting time. Liberal democracy, which is multi-party political democracy, is not in this country. That is point number one. Because the political environment and the leadership of this nation does not want political parties. And this one is very clear. As you know, my history, my long journey with him, he just doesn't want multi-party politics. And that's why he makes sure that the environment is so harsh and fights any form of meaningful political party. You get it?
Yes.
If you can remember, when NRI, we were not even there, when NRIM came to power, for the last 10 years, when it was NRIM, and President Museveni was very happy because nobody is contesting with him. Plus, when it came to 2001, we were still NRIM within the constitution. That's when Besigye got up. The moment Besigye got up from NRIM, within NRIM, to contest with President Museveni, that was the beginning of fire and chaos in this country. Yet, when DPP, you know, Simogere would contest, would know DPP is not supported. Or even UPC, Miriam Obote. No, because he knew those parties were not anything. But when somebody from NRIM, who was as meaningful as him was, came up, you need to read my book to see the fire, how Besigye was arrested, how, you know, the beginning, even before he declared, when he knew that they were going to arrest him, that's when he ran and declared that he's going to contest. And actually, according to our discussion within NRIM, I don't mean this NRIM party, which is meaningless to me. They're just sharks. They're just sharks, driven by self-centeredness, driven by materialism, driven by power, to get power and get resources and do whatever they do. But we had said in National Resistance Movement that the good political parties will be birthed or produced by NRIM itself. Because we said these are in NRIM, we are all Ugandans together. We were saying, let's clear the battlefield. We said politics is like, you know, a football match. But we said the past politics has made the what do you call it, where they play football? The field. The football field had holes, had what, and we said, let's clear, flatten, through NRIM, we flatten the football field. And after that, NRIM will produce good political parties out of it. And then they will start and be built, and we get into multi-party political democracy. That's what we used to say. That's when Besigye came up and Museveni was like mad. I discussed with him and told him, I reminded him of that. And I said, you see, FDC is a party born out of the movement. And the movement party is a party born out of the movement. Therefore, our desire, which we had wanted, has come to pass. So I said, don't fight FDC, because it will start building. As of now, the NRM party will get majority, and FDC will be like second, get less. But down the road, we shall grow these parties so that they reach a stage where we shall say, yeah, there is now good multi-party political dispensation, and then you'll work. But President Museveni was like mad. And I can assure you, if President Museveni had not fought FDC and Besigye, okay, we would now have reached a stage where you have good multi-party political system, where today the opposition is a government in waiting like other countries, rather than being enemy. Like he says, this is our enemy, our enemy. It would be a government in waiting while the other government is in action. Because in political parties, you expect that next 5 years, we see how these have performed. When they have performed not according to expectation, we vote the other one. That's what we call multi-party political democracy. It's not where opposition is an enemy with the government. It's not that. Therefore, in Uganda, as far as I'm concerned, there is no, don't talk to me of multi-party politics. Everybody is creating their own party to see where to eat. Exactly. And in fact, many of these, I think, are facing Museveni, and I think he has participated in for instance, for me, with this money, Matthias Mpuga, you remember how he was bought with the 500 millions. I think actually he's working there down underground. He must have been positioned there to make sure that he divides NUP. Because those two parties are basically, they are basically supported by what? Within the central region. And now that the last time central region did not vote NRM, Muzei must fight it in such a way that he will see how some of them we will get them, or at least they will not go to NUP to give him a higher image. So that is it on parties. Now, on elections, for me, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see the value of elections in Uganda right now. It's just eat our money for nothing. It's just torture and crush our young people for nothing. But I don't have power to stop them. Therefore, I have no hope or no faith in any good results out of these elections. Look, if primaries of NRM people can kill people, Ntungamo, when you know, Zimbabwe there, then imagine even in Ankore, in Isinjiro, and who dies? The ordinary people. They are dying for nothing. And it's not only there are a number of areas where fighting, killing, and just primaries of NRM. Now, what do you expect there? Now, having said that, I want to allow me to make a comment on these youth people. You remember, I remember in the first constitution, we had, I think, limited the age to 30. How we had limited the age, I can't remember. Was it that everybody of 18 years should contest?
Yes.
No. Except for president.
Did you read
Except the president.
The president was 30. Yes, for the first office it was 30. And it had a minimum age which was 30. If not 30, it was 35. Then it had also a maximum age. But I think the other seats were a bit open.
But then because he didn't want a time limit of term and age, He decided, you know, he's too, I don't want to say clever.
Cunning.
Very
Cunning.
good. Thank you for that word. Like Karur the hair. So he said, when I remove the term limit and remove the age limit for the young people, they will feel good and they will support it. Yeah. But for sure, this is my personal view. She's talking of dressing and all that kind of thing. For sure, I want to tell you that even me personally, when young people who is a young person? I mean, let me tell you, there must be at least a certain level. If you think you are going to politics for a purpose, and to be able to do what is taking you there, you don't jump at parliament just from university, or when you are still in university. For sure, that is not serious. You know, women have been calling me, help us, we want to get to the council. I say, why are you going to politics? But that's where there is money. In a council, for instance, a councillor gets 10 million, but here what I'm doing, I'm earning like 1.5 or 2 million. It's only if I go there, then I will get money. Do you see what is taking you young people, to politics? Didn't I tell you what was taking to politics? What took me to politics? I wanted to stand on a political platform, to be heard while fighting for gender equality and women's empowerment. And when eventually, of course, I got the platform, I fought, and when things I stood for the truth, and eventually they threw me out. They threw me out into the dustbin. That's when I said, incidentally, I think I was not a politician. I was a political worker. That's what I thought. Because that's when I realized that politicians are crooks, they are thieves, they are dishonest, they are whatever. That's what I realized.
I can't get into it.
That's what I realized. So when I bring it to the young people, the advice I give to these young people, honestly, when you have just finished university, or you are still at the university, you must first gain experience from somewhere. If you join a party, at least be a mobilizer, at least be a personal assistant, somebody. For me, there are young people who are now in politics who were like personal assistant, like they keep with me for instance, let me tell you. Do you see this, the new deputy governor of Uganda? Actually, that young man, I call him my son. When he finished the graduation at Makerere, he joined me. I was in Oxford. And a member of NRC, and he was an economist, and he became like my personal assistant. And whenever I would go travel in Sinjiro, where in my constituents, you'd be the one to help me write the papers, and then we would go and present, and he would see me as I talk, and you know, he learns, and eventually got a scholarship, went ahead and studied, and you see where he is now. And there are quite many young people. By the way, even that my son Mao, you see where he has reached. He started together with me when I was a politician. You know, mentoring, and you should be mentored and reach a certain stage and feel that you really love this thing, that this is your area. But for you also, you jump there to go and get money. You jump there for jobs. I don't blame you, because jobs are nowhere. Instead of running to Saudi Arabia and wherever to be killed and to be made a potter, you say, why don't I go into politics? But otherwise, those people you go to campaign, I mean, I see you come with lipstick, you come and you go to the village to campaign where? For me, I mean, our expectations of a mature, decent leader who is going to lead people. It is not your brain only, but how you appear. For me, these young people you see even now, the second vice president or some ministers there, the third deputy prime minister or something. No, third, no. This, I've forgotten the name, you know, senior citizen, you forget. They are there. young people, even ambassador who, there are so many girls there. Oh God, that is late. I mean my former people who are now in these big positions. When they came to parliament, I would make sure I mentor them. I tell them, don't come with this slit parliament. Please remove that lipstick. You know, yes, clean yourself fine, but you know, you dress like this. Because when you stand up to talk, people should be on your head. They should look at your head. But these hyenas down there, they are looking down at the legs. They are, and I said, stop. They will grab you. And some of them who never listened to me, they would be grabbed. But I had to mentor. Recently, you saw. I think you read on WhatsApp, I read a certain woman who was crying that I came to parliament. Now I'm living with shame, with no money, with loan and no broken marriage. I think you saw. Yes. Because now they have no mentor. Even those who go there, they are like air. Even when you see many of the members of parliament, women, representing district, you can't even sit to mentor. They are running, competing, they are going to take my position. It's like, I don't understand. Politics has become a nuisance, I'm sorry, but for me that's my perception. I was there for 20 good years, I did effective work, I have mentees, I have whatever, I'm a role model to many. But what politics in Uganda has become has nothing to do with what leadership is about. Leadership.
Honorable Miriam, before I sign you off, you forgot to talk about political party coalitions, the coalitions in opposition.
I have told you. I mentioned it that even all these coalitions which are taking place, because for me, I listened, for instance, I was very happy to listen to ANT as it joined the PFF, because that is FDC. Yes. Remember, I'm a founding person of FDC. Me, I participate in the finding, guiding and whatever, but I never become a member. Active. Even ANT, I participated in it. They used to meet at my home. No, not ladies. Even the people, ANT used to meet, consult senior citizens. They consulted us, we met with them, and we guided them until they formed into the party. And then from there, we never did. Me, I told them, please, I'm senior, I must stand out, independent, and give guidance and help. So when it was joining PFF, I saw them. When they were asking, now, are you going to choose one candidate or what? That we shall see, we shall begin, we shall, what is that you see? Let me tell you, I was one of the people, senior citizens, with the Niringie, with the Thelma Wori, with who I can forget them, but we even had that Kamya. By that time, we even had Bet Kamya. And this Mau. We sat, we came from civil society, Godbar, and we wanted to form, you remember, what was it? NAD, the Democratic Alliance. None of you remember.
The one back in the day before elections, was it 2011?
Those days.
Yes.
Was it the Democratic Alliance? What was it?
National Democratic Alliance, was it?
Was it? I have forgotten the name, but people, Ugandans, know. We formed an office. We sat with the Besije, with the Muntu, with the all of them. We were telling them, please, let us sit together, you people, and form one party, so that you can be a strong opposition. And then you contest with NRM. That is the only chance. Do you know what I found? By that time, I abandoned them even. I abandoned them. I don't know whether we abandoned. There was Mbabazi, there was... We used to meet. We established an office there. But do you know what was the biggest challenge? Everybody, every leader of those parties wants to be the one to be the president. Except, let me tell you, one person I know who is ready to surrender leadership to anybody else is Muntu. Major General, is he Major General? I don't want to diminish. Major General Muntu. I know is the only person who would say, okay, if we are joining together, if the other one wants to be the leader, I would follow. But the rest, who?
The ego.
The rest, everybody wants. In fact, that time, Besigye disturbed us so much. He mobilized the whole team. And who is this man who is now the leader?
Odongoto.
FDC.
The engineer.
Amuriat.
Muriat. He mobilized the Muriat and that woman of Kunjiri. Ingrid. And we were sitting at a hotel at Silver in Bugorove there. We were planning to see how they are going to organize. We had said, please submit your what? Your CVs, and we look through them and we see how we can sieve and get. We went so far, and this was it was being done by people who didn't want to contest. We as senior citizens. And when we were there, we had not even, they had submitted their CVs and so on. And basically, FDC mobilized Amuriat and Ingrid. By the time we were breaking for lunch to start discussing, to look at this CV in the afternoon, when we looked down, whoa, they were all there with the leaves of trees, with what? Shouting that basically we can't leave basically out, and oh my God, I said this is stupid. So I don't have hope. That was the first thing. Democratic Alliance. I've forgotten what it was called, DNA or something. NDA. It was NDA, National Democratic Alliance or what? We wanted that because it would be Democratic Alliance. And they failed. Each of them wanted, or especially FDC with message. And after that, by the way, I want to ask, don't you see how he also remained and refused to go, and he was fighting Muntu and putting Amuriat. Everybody knows that between Amuriat and Muntu, whom do you think Ugandans would support? So don't tell me of these alliances. They are meaningless. They are after their what? They are after
personal interest.
Because none of them. Me, for instance, I was saying that if NTA Ant has joined with PFF. I was saying if NUP joined them, and then they choose a president who would, appeal
to everyone,
to majority, it could make sense. But I don't see my son Chaguranyi saying no. I'm not, I will go later. And yet, let me tell you, if they chose somebody and he makes, like Chaguranyi, maybe a prime minister, prime minister is more powerful than vice president.
Yes.
If he makes him a prime minister, and then you get the other one of PPF and make a vice president, and make, and then get people, some of us who have knowledge and that kind of thing and can still help and get some, not in, it can be some position. They are senior citizens. Like if it comes to judiciary, you get chairperson, or you get the minister to advise, and then it would make sense. But the way I know them, each of them wants to be
the dominant.
The head.
Don't you see why Mathias Mpuga started fighting Chaguranyi? And may I concluded, I think Mathias Mpuga must have joined NUP, knowing that down the road he will be the one to, because they were demeaning Chaguranyi that he's not qualified enough. So for you young people, you need to first get experience. You need to first, don't jump there. In fact, when they come to me, I discourage them. I'm sorry to discourage them, but I want you to have reached somewhere, to either 5 years within your party, working, mobilizing, organizing, being trained. That's how parties work. For you to be chosen, for instance, to be a candidate, you must have been in this party for quite some time, doing all groundwork and that kind of thing, and learning, and then they see you that you are fit to be in parliament or to be in council. That's what we mean by good politics, good democratic governance. But Uganda, very, very, very far from it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Miria. So, Nana, let's talk political party financing. First of all, can you help us identify challenges in financing, but also is there transparency in political parties while they are raising the money? And should parties be, what do you think about the state funding political parties vis-a-vis foreign funding of political parties?
Funding is a very important aspect in leadership.
Yes.
As one that's aspiring for a political position, I find that everything I need to do involves spending. So when we go to the level of the party and their funding, being funded by whether it's foreign funding wouldn't be a problem. But foreign funds come with conditions. There is a line they draw for you. Move like that or there is a problem.
Yes.
Local funding, it is not obscene for the sitting government to think of other people that are aspiring to lead and fund their activities. It's not obscene. But what's happening today, where the incumbent NRM, who derailed the whole country away from normal politics to crazy politics, sees the opposition as an enemy. Who wants to genuinely give
An enemy.
to organize and come for what you do not want to release and come and share power. Nobody wants to do that. So in my view, anything to anybody, any political opposition, political parties talking about funding
by government,
it isn't making sense to the Ugandan. That's why you see that as many political formations will come up to, if I can use this word that is being used, to kwetega. They are not coming up to get into meaningful and politics of value. They are coming up to kwetega. Bonebe yetege ono aina baga yechisente.
Kwetegeka oba
kwetega.
What
position self. Kwetega, it's being used these days
to catch what you want.
Exactly. Okay. It's being used by young people. You know, position yourself rightfully. It is getting reduced to that. Like I told you earlier, Ugandans, the common Ugandan, me, I'm coming from the common ones. I will not boast of a CV like my senior sisters here.
I don't boast of it.
No, it is there. And if you boast of it, it is allowed. We enjoy you. We enjoy you telling us your experience and sharing your wisdom. But I cannot come to boast of such experience. But I can boast of existing as the Ugandan on the bottom of this curve. Because suffered. I have never led who has suffered. The sufferer, the commoner. We are the ones on the receiving end of this whole chaos.
Of rubbish.
Of the rubbish, as my sister, senior sister calls it. Our fathers were taken, they were convinced, we are going, we are fighting, it's liberation. And then when they bring what we should call the order, the 10-point program, they begin kicking out voices of reason. She was kicked out at the same time as Vidandi Sali. Anybody who sounded sane kept getting pushed in the sides. I am very sad today we lost another senior person Kanyihamba. It's very sad.
I've just learned.
These wise people are going away with all the wisdom, all the experience. The statesmen that we knew who are able to stand and say, if it is white, it is white. If it is black, it is black. We are losing them. The ones that are alive are not as brave as Mama Miria here to come and say these things openly. So we are in a country where the wise have either chosen to indeed be very wise and survive, or speak and risk, if you will speak and risk, and others have just resigned to fate. No one is advising the young person. Political funding, if it was coming in good faith, that I will fund NUP because it has numbers of youth who need to be mentored and allowed to arrange properly as the young trees that will make the later forest. There is no goodwill. The words used, I will crush them. By 2025, you will see no opposition. How can a person who is heading a government that has such intentions for you be the same person you look to for funding? Here, I will encourage Ugandans to fund what they want to achieve. We could start there. While the government can be forced to fund, there is going to be, that money will come with a lot of, you see, the political parties, in my view, most of them are there to kwetega, position self to be the ones that pose the most, threat to the quagmire system, so that we take that money. Take the money and do what with it. Are you encouraging the youth? Are you encouraging new leaders? No. They just keep bringing the same men, same useless ideas. We have senior people that have said, she's saying, if there were people to come, if there wasn't a void, a gap created, I shouldn't be here being the one to be asked these questions. But there is a vacuum. There are very few people of ethic. There are very few people to whom speaking the truth is helpful to the nation. They will speak that which excites the incumbent, either to take the funding. If you're talking against the incumbent, betega. Tuli mu system, tuli mu chisera cha kwetega, it's very bad. If the funding would come in good faith, it would be helpful. But if we know that it's not coming in good faith, it will go to one who is going to fight the more dominant opposition grouping. It is useless. It is pointless to talk about it. That's where I'll go back to saying, if we are telling people that we are opposition, and we have agreed that we are powerless to use our ideas, for example, in Parliament, and achieve anything. Dr. Besigye, who is in prison today, says elections alone won't change our situation.
That is true.
Which is true. What else can be done, and how do we do it? Is it by older men in politics, the gatekeepers of this politics, all the time bringing out their faces? Is it by continuing with nepotism, which we blame Museveni for? If you look at the political parties today, somebody joked on social media, they said that every opposition political party has a Salim Saleh. There is a brother there. Through whom all other aspiring to lead must be favorite to, or must behave nice to.
Must be vetted.
The vetting.
Yeah.
And this is very true. We contradict ourselves. We have a big devil. We have decided Museveni has become the devil. How different are we from the big devil? Have we allowed that he has, yes, produced with the smaller devils to even outshine him or outsmart him in being devils? There is nepotism in every party. When you asked what is standing out for me, you see the scene of Nyanzi, the Nup people, talking of Bobby Wine brother being the Salim Saleh of Nup. The new party which I am willing to get to use the platform for. I will use the word use. Me as Narong, I'm not going to come in a party to start drumming and making nduru for wrong things. I cannot.
Why
And
don't
somehow
you go
I will be seen.
independent? Why don't you go
That is also on the table. And if the viewers allow us to question things with truth. For example, today the PFF, when I said I will offer myself, I know I have a voice, I have a mouth, I can be mentored by my senior sisters along the way to voice concerns particularly of the women in this Kampala. A week later, a picture was brought of a daughter to a one Obed Rutare Haj who is in prison by part of our party members. And this has the group shouting, you know, for me, I'm an activist. And I am proud of it. And I keep nurturing younger people. Do not just accept things, question things. No matter how contradictory people find you, you have asked, is this indeed black? It is white. Why am I being told to call it black? Unless we get to that level of truth, if we just keep playing politics of no value, like she said, it's just politics for the sake of politics, to kwetega, tuetege sente, to collect, you know, the PFF itself is not a month, 2 months, 3, 6 old on the scene, but sigamba nti ndi mukusomola byama bya party, it's open that people are already questioning how are we different from Muzei Museveni, who seems to be preparing the son to be our next president. If we think that Haj being in prison is a direct qualification for his young small daughter to come and lead women in Kampala and lead Kampalans. I mean, that platform is not just for leading women. How? This is what senior sister here is saying. Let's be prepared. The person we are fronting, we are talking of doing things by defiance. We are talking we don't have power. We are just trying to reclaim power so that we use the power to make a setting, to talk sanity, and come with a strategy, a grand strategy that changes the nation. But while you are deceiving people, allow me use the word, I saw very respected people, Alisa Lasso, Mujisha Muntu is a very respected, calm leader material. I saw them at our convention at PFF. And we are talking things that if a Ugandan listens, these things excite the Ugandan. They are like, finally, there might be hope. Then you get to party politics. They are beginning to bring daughters of the one in prison. I am not saying whoever else is running should go unopposed. I would be very happy if women of PFF, 5 women come out. We have a lawyer there, we have a teacher, we have a businesswoman, we have an activist who has demonstrated ability to make use of a platform of Kampala Woman MP. But now it's beginning to play out as, we must give it. We give things as gifts. I have had a similar story. If you follow social media, because now it's where we get the most information. A lot of it is right, or it holds water. The incumbent for Woman MP, Malende, there is a confusion. They have other candidates. You are seeing that the party leaders are siding with this one, these ones are siding with that one. To conclude it,
yes,
we are all guilty of nepotism. We are all guilty of practicing politics that lacks value. We are all guilty of tribalism. I sat quietly and saw at our party, and I will call it my party, because the message of Dr. Besigye, with all its small shortcomings, it looks like it could take us somewhere. Especially if we all lose the egos. If all those leaders, Chagulanyi, Muntu, Doctor himself, if they come and say the Ugandans we are telling we are opposition, can most believe us if we are coming with one candidate at the main position? If the leaders we want to pick, parliament and what, are people we think of to see ability in. But now, you are telling Ugandans, we are powerless to fight Museveni unless we defy. How are you defying? By continuing to practice what he's practicing? The funding, let political parties be given the funding, but most likely it will just end in the party doing the same things Museveni does with our taxes.
Thank you so much. Trasyleen, I want you to come in about a minute or two to tell us how as young leaders who are entering the political platform, how are you trying to make how are you trying to give yourself and other people younger than you a level playing field? Because mentorship does not only come from senior citizens and also older women. You are also, what example are you doing to show people that you want to play on a level playing field?
I think there's something I have learned from senior citizen here very many times, and that is the idea of vision and ambition. And every time she talks about vision and ambition, before I do something, I ask myself, is this an ambition or is it a vision? Because to me, it actually challenged me. I felt like, wow. So there are times actually, before I had that, there are times I realized that I did things because of ambition, not vision.
Yes.
But when I listen to it, today, I don't do things because of ambition.
Good.
If I feel it is tough, I will let it be. Maybe it is not me to do it. If I feel it will put my reputation at stake, if I feel it is going to bring me unnecessary quarrels, if I feel it is going to really demotivate me, I don't do it. Now, I do things, and that is what I usually tell other young girls.
Good.
That vision is very important. You leave campus, run for MP, get frustrated, they have sold your property, your parents have sold everything, you don't win. You're at a crossroad. You don't know what next. You're only praying maybe they'll call you, make you a deputy assistant RDC. But even you will not get that deputy assistant RDC. So, as much as young people have dreams, have aspirations, have things that we look up to, let us not forget the idea of a vision. Because the vision is going to carry you longer than you expect, which is different with the ambition. Ambition could be related with Infunila Mua, like we are saying. What interest am I getting out of this? And is it short term or is it long term? Usually it is short term because people are looking at how much am I getting on this deal. And it is worse now in the political spaces, especially for young people. Someone will tell you, why are you supporting that candidate?
What is in it for you?
Doesn't have chigati. Come to our camp, we have bread. Bread is here. This is our time to make money. You get? That is what is on the voices of very many young people. And I can assure you, it is not going to take us anywhere. The current election that is ongoing for young people's structures, it is purely having university students or people who have just finished campus. They are unemployed and they are saying, if I become vice chairperson of this sub-county, maybe I could talk to the sub-county chief. Maybe I could reach here. Maybe I could have a platform to speak. But you see, sometimes you don't even need that to wait for that platform. You are the platform that you can create. It starts with you actually identifying the challenge and telling yourself that, what do I fit in this gap? May I can tell you a scenario. When I was at campus, I used to realize that the girls' space had like 3 or 4 girls in it. Like it was usually three of them, like here, there, here, there, here, there. I didn't have money. I didn't have anything. All I did was create a WhatsApp group, and every girl who would reach out for me to help them, I would put them in that group. Now, what we do basically, every opportunity that comes along, I'll put it. Now, these are opportunities that have helped girls establish themselves, but have also helped girls to understand through meeting and collaborating with other people, listening from them. There is one we had that side of Golovi, and we had Honorable Matembe here. Dr. Nanch had organized it. And I can assure you, we had almost 40 of our young girls as participants. Some of them, all they needed was to see Dr. Miria. Some of them, all they felt like they were like, you mean I was actually able to listen to this woman speak like I am in the room where she is? And I can assure you, there are very many young people that look after you, even when they don't know you. Like they don't, but they follow you. And one word, like I can assure, that's what I picked. Those two statements, vision and ambition. And wherever I go,
You also share.
I also share.
Good.
So young people out there, make sure you don't do things for today. Because tomorrow, 10 years, 20 years, Honorable is telling us how she has made 50 years in marriage. 50 years. We have leaders today who think marriage is a waste of time, marriage is not part of life, you know. These are things that you must understand, that the concept we are in, you can actually be a leader, you can keep the relevancy, you can have your family, you can aspire and be as many more things as you can. Don't be the one who is broken down, your family is broken down, your parents are broken down, everyone around you, your job, everything, you mess it up. So conclusively, what I can advise us is, take that step of faith. You're the first change. Like you can create a small platform, a small space that you don't need to advertise, you don't need to. Again, before I came here to Civic Space, and I always say this, I used to look for platforms, but I realized there was no one who was going to give me a platform. What I did, I used to get my phone, design flyers. I would just call this one. I'm like, please, I want to have a Twitter space. Would you be able to join in? And they're like, yes, I'll be available on this time. So because I hosted very many online spaces, now people started seeing, hey, this girl can actually speak. These guys can actually say this and that. So if you don't create that space, sometimes you will not even get to the bigger space that you aspire to be. So it starts small, and it starts with you thinking outside of, I do not have to be ordinary, I need to do something, but also moving as a team, because a team helps you. Very many young people, today you connect them here, tomorrow they'll connect you here. Today you connect them here, tomorrow they'll connect you here. Today you have a space, you're running this, you're going to have them as partners, they're going to offer just free services, they'll just speak. So it all starts with you. Remember vision and mission. Don't mix that too. That's what I can say.
Thank you. Woman. Nancha is now contesting.
Yes.
In
Central Youth MP. She's running for Central Youth MP.
What is Central? The whole of Buganda?
Yes, for youth.
I wish they could choose her.
Thank you so much, Trasyleen. Ladies, our time is fast spent. We've come to the end of the show, and I know within your submissions you put out calls to different stakeholders, and I hope that has been your message of hope, because our time has been fast spent. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for keeping it Civic Space TV.
But I always tell people that as Ugandans, we cannot be hopeless.
Yes.
Even in the midst of this situation, like it used to be with the Israelites, the creator of Uganda is in charge, is in control, and is watching, and we must put our faith in him. Soon, things will be different.
Thank you, Dr. Miria. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for keeping it Civic Space TV. This was the Women Perspective on the political party activities and the state of multiparty democracy. I would like you to subscribe and also like, share with your network, and keep it Civic Space TV for next time. Thank you very much.